Good morning. So we'll start with a couple of bricks. If you don't have a brick, have a rolled up towel. And if you're using yoga bricks, most yoga bricks are a bit smaller than these. And if you find it a bit too much, then just use a rolled up towel and place it down the middle of your spine vertically. So if you're using bricks like me, you can have, this one's going to be for your head, so you can adjust the height. You can adjust the height of this one. I'm going for it this morning and I've got it on its medium edge. And as you sit back, you're judging that brick to be just between the shoulder blades. So if it's much lower than that, it will feel a little bit uncomfortable in the lower ribs. If it's too high, then that doesn't give your neck space. So you want it just between the shoulder blades, and then this brick underneath your head can either be on its high setting, as I've got it here, or you can drop it down also to its medium setting. And what you don't want to feel is that you're tipping the head back like this. So you want to be able to feel that although it's a bit yummy yucky, it's more yummy than yucky. And you want to feel that the space between the top of the neck and the back of the skull can lengthen, so you're not tipping the head back. And if the bricks are in the right position, it will feel that you can start to soften the body as you start to slow down the breath. And using a rolled up towel here, again, just make sure you have enough support underneath the skull and the neck that you feel that your head is sort of in neutral, where the chin is pointing perpendicular to the floor. And start to notice the breath coming in, and in this position with the prop behind us, supporting the spine, there's more space for the diaphragm underneath the rib cage to expand, and the side of the ribs to expand with the inhale. And as you exhale, feel as if the shoulder blades are draping over your prop. Turning the palms up will help to feel as if even the front of the shoulders are lifting and opening and the collarbones are broadening. Keeping the knees bent here will just help also to get a lift in the spine. And start to count your breath in. So counting for a count of 4, 3, 2, 1 as you inhale, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 as you exhale. Cultivating a smooth and steady rhythm. And if that feels a bit too long, then try a count of a steady 3. Or if it feels too short, you could try 5. And take another 2 breaths like that, counting in with maybe a little pause at the top of the inhale before you exhale, and a little just pause at the end of the exhale before you inhale again. And start to prepare to come up. So you can either just roll to the side off the bricks and take the bricks out, or you can turn your palms down and just take the fingertips underneath the pelvis and push the elbows into the floor and slowly come up. And just take the bricks to the side and come and lie back down onto your mat. Just hug the knees in when you get there and feel how broad the back of the body feels on the mat, having woken it up a little bit and opened up the breath. So hugging the knees in, just have a rock here, and then bring the left foot to the floor, hugging the right knee in, and then start to straighten the left leg along the mat. And see if you can hug the right knee in even more. So make that left leg really active. Can you turn the toes, the knee to point to the ceiling? So you sort of internally rotating that left thigh, feeling as if the inner left thigh is rolling towards the floor. Great. And then take the back of the right leg and just reach that right foot towards the ceiling. You're not trying to get the knee straight. You're just trying to activate the muscles. So as you draw the toes down to look at your nose, can you feel the quad muscles, your thigh muscles, maybe your shin muscles? And press the right thigh into your hands. So then maybe you get a little more opening in the back of the knee. So both legs are really strong. And then sweep the arms back, keep the legs as they are, reaching back. And then start to bring that left knee in, plant the left foot, and start to lower the right leg to the floor. Reaching back through the arms. Nice. And then hug the left knee in and keep the right leg straight. So again, just see if you can feel, and maybe you need to have a look at what the toes are doing. If you're really tight around the glute and the side of this thigh, then your toes are going to want to point out to the side. Can you hug that right leg into the middle? So you feel as if you're rolling the inner thigh down towards the floor, the toes, the knee, point to the ceiling, and firm the muscles of the legs. So just drawing a bit of length to the heel from the pelvis and hugging that left knee in a little bit more. Take the hands to the back of the left thigh and just start to reach the foot towards the ceiling. So you can see I'm tight on this side. You're not trying to straighten the knee. You're just trying to feel the stretch. Press the thigh bone into the hands. Maybe you get a little bit more. And feel both legs super strong. Tone the belly just a little bit and then release that leg and reach the arms back. Lovely. Keep the right leg straight this time and start to lower the left to join the right. Full body stretch. Great. And then keep the left leg straight, bend the right knee. Take the right knee in your left hand and just roll to the side. So you're taking that left knee to the left. Open up the right shoulder, looking to the right if that's okay for your neck, and just taking it into a stretch. So you're keeping a little bit of energy in that left leg as you stretch and twist to the left. Take another deep breath here. As you release the knee, roll onto your back, reach the arms overhead. If this is not comfortable on your back to have both legs straight, have both legs bent. And then as you bend your left knee, take it in the right hand, roll to the right and open up the left shoulder. Take the gaze to the left and keep a little bit of energy. So as if you're reaching from the pelvis into your right foot. That right leg hasn't gone to sleep. Take another couple of breaths in the twist. And then as you release the knee, roll onto your back, reach the arms overhead, have another stretch here, lifting the spine away from the floor as you reach through bright fingers, bright feet. And take another breath. Lovely. And then grab hold of the knees and let's take a brick and just pop a brick or your towel or anything you can find lying around between your thighs and just start to squeeze your thighs together. So you're pressing into the brick. And can you feel a scooping from the pubic bone to the navel? So you're drawing the belly back. So take hold of the thighs and just see if you can rock up onto the sit bones without touching the feet to the floor. So coming up to seated, a little core connector. So you're squeezing the brick, you're keeping the feet off the floor. Maybe the legs can be parallel to the floor, and squeeze the gap between your lower ribs and your hips. So you're drawing the belly in, reach the fingers forwards, open through the collarbones. And let's take 3 more breaths. So you're hugging the thighs towards the chest, keeping the chest lifted, squeezing the brick. Strong breath. Two more breaths. Squeeze a little bit more, bring the knees closer to the chest. And then release. Well done. Take the brick to the side. And just come up onto your hands and knees. So take the hands underneath your shoulders and turn the elbow creases to face each other, and then make the hands really strong, so as if you're clawing the fingertips into the floor. And as you look down at your hands, can you feel as if you're grounding into the thumb joint and the index finger joint, as well as the little finger joint? So you feel really strong. Get that sense of hugging the arms together. We'll just do a couple of cat-cow. So as you inhale, draw the shoulders away from the ears, sliding them down towards your hips, and lift the sit bones, broadening them apart. As you exhale, start to pull the belly up, push into the floor, and tuck the tail as you tuck the chin. Good, 2 more. Inhale. Feel the spine lengthening so you're not compressing in the lumbar spine, and then exhale, pull the belly up to the spine. Last one, inhaling to lengthen, and exhale. Find that middle point between the cat-cow movements, and just turn the tummy away from the floor so you feel nice and steady and straight. Press the throat back, the ears back, so the back of the neck is long. So see if you can keep that as you keep both hands on the floor and slide the right leg away. Lift the leg so that the foot is in line with the hip. You're not trying to lift it higher. So you're drawing the belly back. You're in a straight line from the back of the skull to the heel. Inhale here, and then as you exhale, start to hug the thigh up to the chest, knee to nose. And then inhale, lengthen, keep it strong. Exhale, hug it up, really pulling the belly up as you hug the knee into the chest, and lengthen away on your inhale. Do 2 more. Squeezing in, lengthening out. Last one here. Squeeze in, lengthen back out, and find some stability here so the right toes are pointing to the floor, just like we did a moment ago. You're rolling the inner thigh towards the ceiling, plugging that leg in. When you feel stable, take the left arm alongside your ear. So steady the gaze onto your mat. Keep the belly drawing back. Virabhadrasana, tiger pose. And can you hug this left shoulder back? So you're drawing the shoulder blade down the back so that the head, the neck have got lots of space. Good, take another breath. Good. Bring the left hand to the floor, and then tucking the left toes under, start to push into the floor, lift the hips and come into a 3-legged downward facing dog. See if you can lift the right leg a little bit more, and then step that right foot forwards and drop the left knee down. Nice. Sweep the arms up, inhale. And then feel as if you're drawing this right hip back, lengthening the tailbone, and start to lift the chest up. Again, drawing the shoulders down away from your ears. Suddenly feel broad in the shoulders and free in the neck. Lovely. Start to sit the hips back a little bit as you take your fingertips down to the floor. And if you've got your bricks handy, then bring your hands onto the bricks. Good. And again, can you feel that you want to find that little lumbar curve here? So the top of the sacrum comes in and up. The sit bones broaden, and you get a little bit more stretch on that hamstring. And you don't want to feel as if it's going to ping, so be kind to it. If you feel that you can, you draw the toes back, hug the right hip back, and lengthen the chest forwards. Shoulders away from the ears. Nice, take another breath. And then start to ground the right foot and lunge a little deeper so you can take the bricks forwards and let the hips come forwards here. And start to lift the chest. You can take fingertips onto the bricks. And again, you've got this sense of drawing up from the pubic bone to the navel so you're not compressing in the lumbar spine. And take the throat back, the ears back. Okay. Start to take the hips back, just take the bricks away. And let's take the right leg back out behind. And then bring the right knee next to the left knee. Great. Find your tabletop position again. So you've got a steady, flatter back here as you draw the belly up away from the floor. Feel really steady. The elbow creases facing each other, the hands strong and grounded, and then keeping that steady, take the left leg back. Again, we're not trying to lift it high. You've got the back of the calf more or less in line with the hip. Toes rolling towards the floor. And again, you want to feel that the inner left thigh is rolling towards the ceiling. That gives you that alignment in the leg. Inhale here as you exhale. Push into the floor and hug the knee up towards the nose, side pressing into the chest. Inhale to lengthen back. Lengthen the head forwards on your inhale and then exhale. Pushing into the floor, squeezing the belly. Good. Let's do 2 more. Inhale, lengthening from the heel to the crown. Exhale, hugging in. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Lengthen that leg out again. Find a steadiness here. So you feel as if you're hugging the left leg into the midline, toning the belly, and then slide the right arm alongside your ear. You're still hugging the head of the arm into the body. So you feel as if you're drawing the shoulder blade back and the crown lengthens forward. Stay steady here, tiger pose. Strong breath. And then bring the right hand back onto the floor. Keep the left leg lifted, tuck the right toes and push back into downward facing dog. If that feels too strong, you just keep the knee on the floor. And then you're going to look to the thumbs and step the left foot forwards, drop the right knee. Well done. And come up into your crescent lunge. Hug this left hip back again. So as you feel that you're drawing back from the outer knee to the outer hip, you square the pelvis into your lunge, lengthening the tailbone, turning the belly, and then lifting up the heart into your lunge. Lovely. Take another breath. Nice and steady. And then start to straighten this front leg. The hips draw back as the chest comes forwards, and then the bricks are really useful here. If you don't have them, you might get your fingertips on the floor, but we want to keep a little lift in the chest and then draw the toes back as you hug the left hip back. Good. And feel again, can you get that sense of the sacrum rather than rounding in the low back here? You want to feel that you're lengthening and the chest can lift. So you can be on fingertips on the brick. So you're feeling the hamstring, but you don't want to feel as if it's going to ping. So if it's too tight, you take a bend in the knee, or you can relax the foot. That will also release it. Otherwise, stay with it, trying to keep some energy in the pose, hugging into the midline and lengthening out. Steady breath. Start to ground that left foot. Bring the bricks forwards, lunge a little deeper. Keeping a tone to the belly so you're not compressing in the low back here. Start to lift the heart, lift the chest. Great, take another 2 breaths. And then taking the hips back, take the bricks to the side, take the hands to the floor and bring that left foot back. And then bring the left toes to the floor and start to push up into downward facing dog. So take the right foot to join the left and just walk out the feet, the knees a little bit here. Ground the hands. So again, make your hands really strong, clawing the hands into the floor. And then can you roll the shoulders onto the back of the heart and feel the head release towards the mat. So give the head a little shake. Pushing into your hands, lift the sit bones a little bit higher so you have length in the spine. The knees can be soft here. Feel as if you're lifting your hips to the ceiling. Nice. And then just tone the belly. And take another 3 breaths in downward facing dog. Inhale to lift the right foot to the ceiling. And exhale, step it forwards. Drop the left knee again, sweep the arms up. And this time take hold of the left wrist. So here we're still lengthening the back of the body from the kidneys to the sit bones, drawing the tummy muscles up. And as you open then the front of the left hip, feel as if you're lengthening the left hand towards the ceiling. Keep space in the neck, so shoulders down, even though the fingers are lifting, and then hinge to the right. Can you feel that sense of lengthening the tailbone even more and find the stretch in your own body? But just enough that you can keep a steady breath. Don't hold on to the breath, keep it moving. Let's take another couple of breaths there. And then once more, as you release the hands, take the hips back and take one brick in your left hand. Keep it nice and high, so the right toes are drawing back, the right hip is drawing back. And then can you lift the sit bones and start to turn and twist to the right. So don't let this right hip collapse. You're keeping it drawing back, strong in the right leg. And turn and twist and open up. Start to release as you bend the right knee. Sweep the arms back up to the center. And then sweep the hands to the floor. And lift the back knee, sweep the right foot to the ceiling, downward facing dog. Bring the right foot next to the left and inhale the left leg. I'll get it right in a minute. Good. As you exhale, step that left foot forwards, drop the knee down. And sweep the arms up. Lengthening the back of the body, drawing up pubic bone to navel. And then reaching up with that right hand. So see if you can really align the pelvis so that you feel a strong stretch in the front of your right hip. And then relax the shoulders away from the ears. So you feel that your shoulders broaden and there's more space for your neck. And then take hold of the right wrist. Keep that sense of length in the back of the body so it's a good opening feeling in the front of your right hip, and then hinge to the left. And steady the breath. And then inhale back to the center. Start to take the hips back again in that same hamstring stretch, that Hanumanasana prep that we did before, with a brick underneath the right hand. And you can have it on any height that you like to try to keep the pelvis level. So this left hip is going to want to swing up or collapse down. See, can you keep it in line with the right hip? And then start to twist and open up to the left. Good, so that you're wrapping this outer right hip down towards the floor. So you've got a sense of drawing down towards the floor even as you lift the left hand to the ceiling. And find some more space in the side body. Let's take another breath. And then release the hand, bend the knee, take the hands to the floor. And then sweep back up, three-legged dog. And bring the left foot next to the right. Great. So can you lift the sit bones towards the ceiling as you root into the hands and keep the shoulder girdle strong? So you're not just hanging out in the shoulders, you're really pushing the hands into the floor from the back of the ribs. And take two more steady breaths in downward facing dog. And then when you're ready, inhale the left leg super high and exhale, step it forwards. Keep the back knee lifted this time and take the bricks either side. If you've got them, don't worry if you haven't. And feel the inner heel pressing back, the inner thigh lifting and lengthen. You could even come onto the fingertips here. Nice. So squeeze the feet towards each other. Feel the belly draw up away from that front thigh. And then take the left arm alongside your ear. And then the right arm alongside your ear. and start to lift the heart. Keep that inner right thigh pressing back and come into Anjali Asana. Lovely. Still feeling that sense of lifting the belly and lengthening the back of the body. Take another breath here. And then we're going to start to open up the arms, open up the hips as you flatten the back foot, and you can wriggle this left foot into the middle of your mat and start to bend the knee a little deeper into Warrior Two. Nice. So gaze over your left fingertips and just look down at that front foot. Can you press the outer knee towards the baby toe side of that foot? Nice. So you're spreading across the ball of the foot, rooting into the back of the heart. Back of the heart into the back foot is what I meant. Toning the belly. Lovely. Inhale, take the right hand to the right thigh, reaching up through the left fingertips. And then bring the left elbow onto the left thigh, sweep the right arm alongside your ear. And then see if you can push the elbow into the thigh and bring these left ribs round a little bit more. Back leg needs to stay strong. Good. And then can you squeeze the shoulder blade down towards the hip? Feel that your shoulder opens. Nice. Steady breath, side angle pose. Bring the right arm down, and hopefully there's a brick that you can grab and bring it on the outside of that left foot. And then take your right hand onto your hip. So can you roll the right shoulder blade into the back of the heart? So you lift it, draw it back, squeeze it down, and feel that opening through the chest. So you want to keep that. And then take the left hand onto the left brick. I'm going to even take it onto my fingertips so there's lots of space, and just feel the outside of that left knee press into your left arm. So you want to keep that outside of the knee pressing towards the baby toe side as you straighten the leg. Then pushing your left hand into your brick, can you start to bring your left ribs round and look to the ceiling? And then the last thing you're going to do is sweep the arm out in front of you, so the thumb's in line with your nose. Thumb in line with the nose, out in front. Hug that right shoulder back, and then open up the chest. So fingertips to the ceiling. Lovely. And turn. From the center of your pelvis, can you push into your feet and feel that your torso lifts a little bit? Strong legs. Trikonasana. Lovely job. Lengthening the back of the neck. And then bring the right hand down to the floor, bend the left knee, turn onto the ball of your left foot. Just take the brick to the side and step back into plank. And lower to the belly. Inhale into cobra. So draw the shoulder blades away from the ears, so you're squeezing them down towards your back pockets. And then clawing the hands, lengthen the chest forwards as you come up. Back of the neck long, give the head a shake. And just bend one knee, straighten it, bend the other knee, straighten it, and then release. Great. And then let's press back up into downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts, and exhale, step it forwards. Good. Drawing this right hip back. Sweep the right arm alongside your ear. Tone the belly away from that front thigh. Left arm alongside the ear. And then keeping the back leg strong and straight. Try not to collapse in that back knee. Come up into your lunge. Lovely. Yeah. So this inner left thigh is still drawing to the back of the room. And then we start to open up into Warrior Two. So you might just move the right foot into the center of your mat, so you're lining up the heel with the back arch. And take the gaze over the right fingertips. Nice. Feel as if you're pushing into that back thigh, so the back foot, so the inner thigh is rolling in, and then lengthen the tailbone. Lunge a little deeper. Start to flip that front palm as you take it into reverse warrior, left hand to the thigh, and then sweep the right elbow to the right thigh and the left arm alongside your ear. As you press the elbow into the thigh, can you bring these right ribs round a little bit more and look to the ceiling? Hug that right hip underneath and open up side angle pose. Your left hand might be able to find your brick and just place it to the outside of that right foot. Good. Stay steady as you move your right hand onto the brick. Nice. And bring your left hand onto the hip. So roll this left shoulder. So you lift it up to the ear, draw it back into the back of the rib cage, and then slide it down towards your back pockets. And keep that opening as you start to straighten the front leg, opening up the chest, and then take the top arm up. So your thumb is maybe in line with your ear or your nose, bringing those right ribs round, and from the core of your pelvis, push into both feet, and then open up a little bit more, Trikonasana. Lovely. Take another breath here. And then start to windmill the hands down as you bend the front foot, knee. Turn down to the floor and step back into plank. Ground the hands and lower to your belly. Inhale into cobra. Bring the shoulder blades down. And then come back down just to the ribs and take your right forearm across the mat. Bend the left knee and reach back to the inside of your foot if you can, or the outside if you need to. Roll the shoulder blade into the back of the heart, and then can you take these left ribs forwards again, gaze forwards, and just gently push the foot into the hand. Good, as you release the push, maybe you can take hold of the foot and give that thigh a little more of a stretch. Try and keep the left hip on the floor so you're not lifting away from it. Good, lengthening the tailbone, so this shouldn't be compressing in your low back. See if you can tone the belly. And then release the foot and take it to the other side. So the left arm is across in front of your chest, bending the right knee and reaching for the inside of the foot if you can, or the outside if not, so that you draw the shoulder in towards the spine. Press the right hip into the floor, lifting the heart, really lengthen the tailbone, and push the foot into the hand. Push the left forearm into the floor. Great. And then maybe bring the right heel in towards the body a little bit more. Thigh stretch, lengthen the tailbone. Well done. And then release, take your hands either side of your chest, knees wide, toes together, and press back into child's pose. So really push into the hands. And as you go back, you've got your sit bones broad until the very last moment where you allow the spine to flex, to fold in. Keep that sense of pushing into the hands so you're rooting the sit bones back to the heels. Lovely. Take another breath. And then start to walk the hands back. Bring the knees forwards a little bit, and you can try crossing your ankles and rolling over into seated, or you can just come onto your seat, however feels good. And we'll bring the right foot to the inner left thigh, and just take the hands behind your hips. Start to push the fingertips down and feel how that allows you to find more space in the spine. So this top of your sacrum here is lifting up and in. So you have this natural curve in your back and a lift in the spine. So the right knee out wide, start to take the hands forward. So it doesn't matter how far you go here. You don't want to collapse here in this posture. So you're not just trying to get the nose down to the knee. We're trying to keep the lift and feel as if you're taking the chin towards your toes. Relax the head, even as you keep the lift in the spine. One more breath here. And then start to come up again. Take your hands just behind your hips, high on the fingertips, pushing down so that you feel a lengthening in your spine. Straighten your right leg. And bring the left leg in. You might need to help it. So the foot to the inner right thigh. And you're really trying to ground that right thigh down into the mat. So there's muscular energy in the right foot. If you're quite mobile in the knee and the heel lifts, you want to push the heel into the floor. You'll feel the muscles work. So rooting the fingertips down into the floor, lifting the heart, drawing the top of the sacrum in. And then you can start thinking about taking the chin forwards. Fingertips can stay just wherever. It might just be in front of the shin, or you might want to stay here with the lift. It feels really good. And just let the head release. And then come up and just take hold of this left ankle and lift it to cross over above the right knee. So then keep hold of the shin as you start to roll onto your back, bringing the right foot off the floor and taking it into a glute stretch. So if you wish, you can just keep your hands on the shin here, and you should feel this stretch in the left buttock, hip. Otherwise, thread the left hand through and interlink the fingers behind the right hamstring, back of the thigh. And steady the breath. And then uncross that left ankle. Just take the knees wide towards the armpits. Have a little roll. Bring the left foot to the floor. Cross the right foot across the left knee. Take hold of the right shin as you lift your left foot off the floor. And you can stay there if that feels good. Or thread the right hand through to the back of the left thigh and interlink the fingers. What we don't want is this, where the chin and the nose are pointing backwards and you've compressed the back of your neck. So we want to be able to lengthen the back of the neck, so the nose, the eyes, the chin are pointing to the ceiling. So if you're really tight and that makes your head drop back, then take hold of the shin here. And that relaxes the upper body a little bit more. Close the eyes and just breathe into what you feel here. Relaxing the jaw, the upper body, as much as you can. One more breath. And then release the hands, bring the left foot to the floor, uncross the legs. Just let the knees draw out wide as the soles of the feet come together. And release the arms to your sides. The shoulder blades just can tuck under a little bit more so you feel open in the chest. Palms up. And release. You can stay here for Shavasana and Supta Baddha Konasana, or you can straighten the legs, keeping the feet wide, just for this last moment of total relaxation, of surrender, before you go back to your day. Letting the jaw soften, the breath soften. The eyes, the skin, just letting go. Deepening the breath. And feel the breath bring with it that energy to move. So take a twist or a stretch. Whatever feels good as you start to make your way back to seated. Bring your hands to your heart. And with love and great gratitude, namaste.